to learn about a watershed is to create one of your own from your local area. So you all have some sort of waterway, a stream, a creek, a pond, a lake, a river, something near you. So make a model of it, and all you need for that are some simple materials that are pretty cheap. So start with like a little baking pan. Doesn't have to be this size, could be bigger, could be smaller. Work in teams to build it, right? So you have your baking pan that you're going to put everything in. Some of these foam bricks, maybe like this much per group, all right? So students would pair up or work in teams of 3 or 4, but give them each one of, about this size. These are nice because they can actually really make the landform that they want. So if they wanted to make like a river or a stream running down through, kind of between a valley, they can just press it with their fingers. So really easy to mold. Okay. You can also give them some clay to add other features of the landscape. All right. A couple other things that you're going to want to have: aluminum foil. They can cover their mountain regions. They can use that for the waterway itself. A water bottle, scissors, some markers. And then when we talk about the watershed, we're going to use Kool-Aid and cocoa mix. All right, because the idea, maybe you can zoom in here a little bit, is that after the students have created, their own little landscape with some sort of waterway, all right, and a watershed, is the area that feeds into a common waterway. So all of, this is a mountain range or a hillside, okay? Any water that comes on here is ultimately going to run off and feed its way down into this waterway and down into that waterway. And the point of this exercise is the students make a model of their watershed or a watershed in their area, right? And then they can actually test it out, and that's where the Kool-Aid and the cocoa mix comes in. You can say the Kool-Aid is fertilizer or pesticides, okay? And you can use cocoa mix for maybe there's a farm in the area, all right? And this is manure. All right, and you put some of that, you sprinkle some of that onto your landscape, and then you can show the students what happens when they make it rain. All right, and they can see that pesticides, manure, anything, fertilizer that we put, into that watershed ultimately, right, is going to run off and make its way into the waterway. And not just runoff, we can get into talking about aquifers, and that it's, the water that goes into the ground as well is going to make its way into the waterway. So it's just a neat, simple, cheap, fun way, all right, to talk a little bit more about watersheds. And when you're talking about Tuck Everlasting, it's a neat connection there to talk about, that stream, that spring that gives the water to the Tucks, that allows them to live forever. What on earth got in that watershed that fed that spring, or that keeps feeding that spring, that gives it its magical powers? So enjoy this fun little hands-on activity connecting watersheds to Tuck Everlasting, connecting literacy to science.